Take it away, Gary.
Welcome to the Demented Collective, and as always, I'm Gary.
I'm David.
And today we are talking about...
Return of the Living Dead from 1985.
Mm-hmm.
You can see my VHS copies. I'm very proud of these. I've owned these since the early 2000s. I was living in Big Bear. The Blockbuster was going out of business. And I think I got these for $1 maybe. And they've traveled with me for 24 years, whatever it's been now.
Oh yeah, man, you can't just throw something like that away.
Oh, heck no. No, they had a big bin full of VHS. I think I got my Evil Dead there, too.
Another classic.
Yeah, that's been traveling. They're really beat up because I've moved a lot in the past 20 years or so.
Hey, dude, I get it. My DVD collection has seen some better days.
So, we're talking about the Return of the Living Dead. The official synopsis for this: when two balding employees at a medical supply warehouse accidentally release a deadly gas into the air, the vapors cause the dead to rise again as zombies. You're chuckling. Why are we chuckling?
Oh yeah, because I'll get to it when we get to the point when the gas. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I got you. So it was directed by Dan O'Brien. Now Dan O'Brien has one.
I thought it was Bannon.
You're right, Dan O'Bannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying it wrong.
Close enough. Please don't hit us.
When I was watching it and everything, I'm like, oh, Dan O'Brien. And then I caught myself, oh, it's O'Bannon. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's dyslexia. It happens to the best of us.
Sure.
Me especially.
This guy is a powerhouse when it comes to movies.
Along with another set of powerhouses that...
So he wrote the Alien movies.
Oh!
Yeah, this guy wrote Alien.
Explains why the special effects were... Well, I mean...
And I think some of the video games in the 90s he wrote.
Oh, okay. I mean, because, yeah, the Alien franchise, like the first ones, the special effects were always amazing.
That's basically what launched it.
Yeah.
Dead and Buried. He did the screenplay for Dead and Buried. He did the story for Heavy Metal.
Oh, yeah.
And have you seen Life Force yet? I have it in here somewhere.
No, I have not.
Okay, we're going to do Life Force. It's another movie that has one of the main females. The main female is basically naked the whole time.
Oh, yes, the one with the powerhouse assets.
Yeah. That's what it is. He did the screenplay for Life Force. And Total Recall with Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
he did the story and the screenplay for that.
He just hits everything, like, Campy fun to, just amazing films full of, like, drama and action and,
he was writing some bangers there. For this one, he didn't write this one. He's just the director. The writers on this one are Rudy Ricci, Ricky.
R-I-C-C-I?
R-I-C-C-I.
Yeah, I think that's Ricci.
Okay, Ricci.
Like Christina Ricci?
That'll do it, yeah. John Russo, who was a writer on Night of the Living Dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The original Romero movie. He also wrote the 90 version of the remake of Night of the Living Dead, the color one.
Oh yeah, that's why, because I remember Russo and Romero, they did Night of the Living Dead together, and then the reason why it got split up is because they had a little bit of from my understanding and research, they had a bit of a disagreement. So Russo kept the Living Dead, where Romero just changed it to later on Of the Dead.
Mm-hmm. They made that agreement. It was kind of a gentleman's agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went their ways. And they both had hits.
Oh, yeah.
It worked out for both of them.
I see how it was, there was kind of some fun jabs at Night of the Living Dead in this film, but it was not like angry jabs, but kind of fun little like, ha-ha.
I mean, I'm betting they were still friends, cordial at least.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
I'm sure they probably do references for each other throughout, like...
Sure.
Because, I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah. And another writer, the third writer, was Russell Striner. And you might know him best as Johnny from Night of the Living Dead. At the beginning, who gets killed. Barbara's brother.
Mm.
And he was a writer on this.
No. So, yes. They're coming for you, Barbara.
That guy. Yes. That's him.
Yes.
It started... Okay, so we've talked about Clu Gallagher before. One of the stars of the movie here. He plays Bert.
Okay, I did. I had his name written down along with two other names. I do not have my notebook on me.
Yeah, he came straight from work, and
So if I'm not on my A game, that's why.
It's 2 a.m. So he doesn't have any of his notes with him.
Under-caffeinated compared to how I normally am.
Right. We usually do this in the late afternoon. Bless you.
Thank you.
Any more?
No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Blooper.
So, Clu Gallagher, we talked about him on a previous movie, and I can't remember which one. We only have like 5 before us, so.
Yeah, let's see. Clu Gallagher, I know, because, I wrote his name down because, they had some very familiar faces on this. Not Clu Gallagher.
Clu Gallagher was in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge.
Yes.
Have you ever seen The Uninvited? Now, I'm betting I probably brought him up with The Uninvited. It's the killer cat movie on a boat. The cat was, infected. He was a lab cat, and he kills everyone on the boat. Clu Gallagher is one of the guys he kills.
Okay.
And Riff Tracks did that one. That's the first place I saw it. And The Willies. Did you ever see The Willies? Early 90s?
No, I did not.
It's a fun kind of... It's good for kids to be in. It's like an introduction to horror for kids kind of thing.
Okay.
I think it's an anthology. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Kind of like Goosebumps or those...
The kids are sitting around a fire.
Is that the one where
I might
they
be
put
confusing
powder into the fire?
No. That's Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Okay.
Yeah.
My first experience with that one was Robot Chicken.
Okay. We'll have to check out The Willies, though. I like that one. I just can't... I'm mixing it with something else right now.
Oh.
And Clu Gallagher said, out of all the movies he did...
He was also in Puppet Master.
Ooh,
5.
Puppet Master.
Feast! That's...
Feast.
Yes.
Okay.
That's probably where I recognize him most from, because I binge-watched all 3 of the Feast movies because... Yeah, there's 3 movies.
Got it. Yeah, there are.
Yeah, because, it's... I love... It's terrible horror comedy at its best. It was tangent.
He's had a long career. He's been acting since the 50s or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, in regards, I'm quoting him, in regards to Return of the Living Dead, this is one of the 5 genuine works of art that I've been a part of. So he did a lot of schlock and a lot of just TV
Feast.
and, junk. And this is one of the ones he regarded as one of his favorites, it seems.
Oh, yeah. Pretty sure, maybe Nightmare on Elm Street was another one.
I would hope.
Yeah, well, that whole franchise, the first several were... Their first few ones were good. And, I'll be completely honest. I'm going on record here. I loved the entire Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, including the remake.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're going to have some words on that. Oh, because we're going to hit Nightmare.
Oh, okay.
And when we get to that remake, man, I'm going to pop a squat all over it. I'll tell you what.
That's fair, but, I like the actor they got. I do. But
the original is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Moving on, though. James Karen was Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably know him best from Poltergeist. He was Mr. Teague in Poltergeist.
Yep. That's what they... the 3 initial members, Freddy, Frank, and Bert.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they all... I recognized all of them.
Yeah. Mulholland Drive, he was also in the Willies with Clu Gallagher. Don Calfa as Ernie, the crematorium guy.
Yes.
He was in Weekend at Bernie's. He did a lot of gangster movies in the late 80s when the gangster stuff was hot in the late 80s, early 90s. Which
probably explains why he seems so comfortable handling that prop gun.
Could be. Bugsy. You ever heard of Bugsy, the movie?
Sounds...
it was a big one at the time. It was early 90, 89, 90, somewhere. He was in that. Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town. Now we're talking my level. All right. I've seen it. I have seen it. I love it. Not for the reasons why people would love movies, though.
Let me guess, because of...
Well, it's got that. No, it's just bad. But it's early 90s bad.
Oh, okay.
Early 90s bad is a totally different kind of bad.
Oh, no, I get that. It's bad. Like the comparing, An American Werewolf in Paris. That
to what, the original?
The original, yeah.
Well, it's hard to compare to that.
Well, exactly.
The original is still A game for
I'm sorry, but that
special effects.
Oh, yeah, that is top tier. That is, if you're going to... Any writers out there, if you're going to want to make a werewolf film, take notes from An American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, you need a good practical effect guy.
Oh yeah, practical effects. Story was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
It's got some humor. Anyways, wrong movie.
I keep doing this again.
Okay, we're gonna do a video where it's just tangents.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
Exactly.
Freddie. Who was Freddie?
I can't remember the actor's name, but I know him best as Tommy Jarvis.
All right.
Not the Corey Feldman one.
Nope.
The
Part 6.
yes.
Yep, Jason Lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he came in as Tommy, and he's still playing Tommy to this day.
Oh yeah, I believe, dude. Corey Feldman did great, but adult Tommy, he did so well. I am still disappointed that the Friday the 13th video game went through that whole legal thing that messed up because they used his likeness to, and I can't remember. They might have used his voice line, him as a voice actor for Tommy when he would appear because that was one of the win conditions.
Right. Yeah, I've played that one. I know what you're talking about. Have you ever seen the Never Hike Alone fan films?
No, it's on my list, especially.
He's Tommy in the fan films.
Oh,
and there's like 3 of them. There's a Never Hike Alone in the Snow, the original, and a part 2 just came out.
Oh yeah,
and it's all on YouTube. You can watch them for free.
Our supervisor is in the credits because he backed that film.
Yeah, I know. He showed me.
Yeah. And honestly, because of that, they also have a whole nother thing of like Never Something Alone franchise.
Right.
It's like Never Go Skiing Alone, Never Go Camping Alone, or something like that. There's the kind of spin-offs, but yeah.
Yeah. And it's a great series. They put money into it and everything. So it's worth checking out. And Freddie was played by Thom Matthew. Is it Thom or Tom?
How's it spelled?
Thon.
I think it's Tom.
Okay.
Because
Silent H.
Like Thomas.
Thomas. That makes sense. Yeah. Jewel Shepard. She plays Casey, the girl with the mohawk.
The blue.
Now I looked her up. Mm-hmm. And I started reading her biography, and I couldn't stop reading her biography. This is an interesting lady. She met O'Bannon, the director, in a posh, members-only strip club. She was a stripper.
Oh, so like a high-end gentleman's club.
Right. In L.A., back in the early 80s. And she had been doing movies, and she'd been doing tons of nude scenes, and they treat her like crap and all this stuff. She said, I'm not doing nude scenes anymore. And he said, that's fine, because he wanted her to be trash, originally. And then he said, okay, I got the party girl. She's supposed to be the party girl. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll do that. And that's what she did. And then she became a writer after this movie, and started writing, and she's super successful, apparently, in writing magazines and all that.
Cool.
Yeah, she's still doing it.
And went to, and I was about to say, it's like, so wow, how come we never see any chesticles? And then that makes sense.
Because she didn't like the way she was treated when she did it, so she stopped doing it.
That is fair. That is fair. I mean, more power to you.
Sure. But what makes it interesting, she got a fan letter from the Unabomber.
Really?
Yeah. Ted Kaczynski or something like that. He sent her a fan letter back in the 80s.
Not to be confused with John Krasinski.
Right. No, this is the guy who was holed up in a cabin in Montana.
Probably with beard.
So she just has a super interesting story. She wrote a book called Invasion of the Bee Girls, and just the letter B, like B movie girls kind of thing. And it was a monster hit, and she did a sequel, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's had a great career in life, it seems.
Awesome.
And then Miguel Nunez Jr. was Spider.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And he is an acting machine. The guy has 156 credits under Scooby-Doo from 2002. The live-action Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Who's he?
I don't have the name of what he plays. He's on the island. I think he plays a henchman, or he has a moderate part, not a big part.
Okay, yeah.
The Adventures of Pluto Nash with, I think it was Eddie Murphy, that
Eddie
nobody
Murphy
saw,
that
and it totally bombed.
So bad that Robot Chicken, again, shout out to Robot Chicken apparently in this episode.
Leprechaun 4, in space, that's right. But the one I know him from, Street Fighter.
Oh, okay.
He was DJ in Street Fighter, the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to say, Lethal Weapon 3. Yeah. I want want to say, I don't want to commit to this because I swear he was. Oh, he was kicking it old school. He was Darnell. It's okay
That's
for
right,
people
yeah.
to say the N word, and then we're not going into that. But
We're not doing that.
yeah, but yeah, I remember that one. Okay. And then I want to say I saw him in one of. Nope, I did not. I want to say I thought it was him, but I thought he was in the collection, but I was wrong.
Oh, okay.
My
No,
bad.
yeah, he's been doing a ton of those like I don't even want to get a ton of Christmas movies and holidays, but he works. He's working.
Hey, good for him.
And then you got Tina, who was played by Beverly Randolph. This was her last movie for 30 years.
Really? Why?
She didn't do another movie until 2015. No idea.
Hmm.
And when she did, she came back and did Caesar and Otto's Paranormal Halloween. Have you seen the Caesar and Otto movies?
No.
They're fun.
But it is on my list because
They have like 3.
There's more than 3.
Are
One
there?
of them is a technically a related to Sleepaway Camp, actually. Yeah, because
I'm interested.
Felissa Rose actually.
Check out our Sleepaway review.
Please do. Yeah, Felissa Rose actually returns as her character
Okay.
in the Caesar and Otto. It was like Caesar and Otto at Caesar and Otto.
Now, speaking
I
of
can't remember.
Felissa Rose,
Mm-hmm.
Beverly Randolph was in Shriek Show with Felissa Rose.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was only a couple years ago, 2018, 2019, something like that.
This is
And she did,
Ouroboros.
yeah, she did Death House also recently.
Is that the one with it was like the Expendables of horror movie icons?
Death House?
Yeah. I'm talking like Kane
I know
Hodder, Tony Todd.
I know what you're talking about. I don't think so. I'm not sure. I just had it might have been with you. Just had a conversation about that movie, or I was reading up on it or something.
Mm.
Brian Peck was Scuzz. He's the male with the mohawk.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the cartoon version of The Tick.
Who is he in that?
He's Baron Violent.
Okay.
It's only one episode, but I wanted to point it out because I know you're such a big Tick fan.
I love the Tick. Bring it back, Amazon.
The Last American Version. He was in X-Men 2, Good Burger, and a ton of voice work.
X-Men 2. I want to say he was Toad.
No, nothing big.
Okay.
The Good Burger, X-Men 2, Last American, nothing big.
So
Most of his work is voice work.
Hey, you know, like
Work is work.
Work is exactly,
Hey.
and you know what? Voice actors don't get enough respect or credit like they should, unless you're talking about Vox Machina.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about that.
Oh, we'll have to get into that after
He'll
this
fill
film.
me in.
Yeah.
Chuck, the nerdy guy, was John Philbin.
The one that was wanting to hook up with the Mohawk.
Yeah, the Mohawk girl. Yeah.
And she's like, pretty much go play with yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. Point Break. He was he was like a lieutenant or something.
Oh, okay.
Children of the Corn, I think, was one of his. I think it was his first movie. He was in the original Children of the Corn.
Okay. I have seen that one actually.
And he was in Tombstone.
Outlander. Yeah.
He was in a movie that won Best Picture.
Really?
Tombstone.
Tombstone.
And he actually had a name. His character had a name. I can't remember what it was, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then the creme de la creme, Linnea Quigley.
With powerhouse assets.
Uh-huh. She is currently 66 years old.
It's still probably fine.
Call me, Linnea.
I honestly I like her.
She does like 3 or 4 movies a year still. She is still acting.
She's not a bad actor. Honestly, out of all the characters,
She's not super strong in this one, but she knows it. She's interviewed and said, "Yeah, I know I'm not the greatest actress. People don't hire me because of my acting. They hire me because I'll get naked on camera. Like no problems, not an issue."
Yeah, you know what? I mean, she's got kind of like that. I mean, if you're into MILFs.
I'll put a recent picture of Linnea Quigley.
And I love this. So check this out. So first image, second, third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah, that's right.
It is.
It's from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and she has a thing called her horror
The horror
workout.
Linnea Quigley's horror workout. That's from 88, 89.
Did she get naked in that too?
I haven't seen it yet, but it has like zombies and stuff in it. It's, from what I can tell, it's a wild ride. So I do want to check that out.
You know, I mean, I have to fill that Betty White void after she passed away. So Linnea Quigley.
Let me give you some movies she's been in. Night of the Demons. She
Yes,
puts the lipstick in her boot.
original
Yeah.
Night of the Demons. Yes,
Silent
I've seen
Night.
the original and the remake.
Oh yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night,
Yep.
the original. Graduation Day, Vice Academy, multiple Vice Academies. She's in like the first 3 or something like that.
I've heard of Vice Academy. Haven't seen them.
They're not horror. They're more action comedy.
Riffs on Police Academy.
Yeah, exactly. With like 2 females
Or
dressed
willing to
skimpy
get
and
naked.
yeah. They're fun stuff.
You know, this is actually the first video that we shot that is instead of the nudity being dangus.
Oh yeah, this is the first one with chesticles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Pumpkinhead 2. I have a long list of her because I really like her.
What?
Pumpkinhead 2.
Which one was Pumpkinhead 2? Was that no,
Part
that
2
one-
of Pumpkinhead.
It wasn't Blood Wings. Blood Wings, I think, was 3.
No, I think it's currently on Tubi. If anyone wants to go watch it.
Oh, you know, we should do Pumpkinhead. I like the Pumpkinhead.
I
franchise.
really like Pumpkinhead.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Underrated horror icon.
Lance Hendrickson. I'm all over it.
Hmm.
Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Creepazoids. Savage Streets with Linda Blair.
Okay, so
Yep. Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bolorama.
which one was she in that one?
She's the tough girl who breaks in later after them or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And it's one of the few roles she doesn't get naked in.
That makes sense
Yeah.
because that's probably why the entire film I'm looking at her like, why isn't she naked yet? Which I feel bad for admitting.
Well,
I don't know if I should have admitted that, and I'd asked this part to be edited out, but he won't do it.
oh no. Editing? I am a terrible editor. Like, what you see is what you get, guys.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best. And on that note, let's take our first break. And we'll be...
The Return of the Living Dead, rated R.
All right. And I just wanted to kind of let people know we do plan on upgrading our camera, lighting, audio, and all that. Currently, we're kind of winging it and just having fun, really.
Yeah, having fun. We're learning as we go.
Right.
So bear with us, and to those of you that have been watching our videos and our subscribers, thank you. We appreciate you, and any of our future viewers and future subscribers, we hope you stick around.
Yep. So let's dive into the movie. Return of the Living Dead. At the beginning, the events portrayed in this film are all true. The names are real names of real people and real organizations. And then if you watch it towards the credits, at the very end of the credits, it says, nothing in this was actually real. You know?
Yeah, I love credits like that. Like prime example, Scream. No thanks to
Oh, yeah.
So
it's July 3rd, 1984.
mhm.
They're at Unida Medical Supply Company. I like the name.
Right.
That's good. Freddie has a new job. He's working with Frank.
Mhm.
And they're just kind of babbling. And then we go and meet the punks.
Yep.
And they got to go pick up Freddie because Tina's with the punks.
Yeah.
And Tina's Freddie's girlfriend.
Yep. And they're looking for a place to party, and Freddie always knows the best places to party.
Freddie?
Yeah, that's what they.
See, I would think like Suicide would or something.
Oh, but they don't like Suicide because
There's a
he's,
character named Suicide in this.
Yes, we're not talking about.
Right.
Yes, his name is Suicide, and he has more chains than 2 chains. I
Like,
couldn't think of a better one.
did I not touch on him when we were going through stuff? Oh man, that sucks. I thought I got him in there. All right.
I can't replace
Oh,
him.
I think I hit him later. Anyways, though, Linnea Quigley is in the car with her very fake red wig. it's an obviously fake wig.
Honestly, I kind of I dug her with that red hair. Maybe
yeah,
it's because I
Yeah, this guy with the red hair. All right.
redheads
Yeah,
and redheads.
yeah. So they kind of established the punks, and that's just what I'm calling them. I don't know if they're actual, punks. And
I mean, they dress.
they have that mid '80s punk in media look.
Yeah, the punk. What punk was in that era? Yeah, the punk lifestyle, the punk.
Right.
Yeah, which, hey, cool. Like like a Sex Pistols or,
That sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with some of this music that they were using, yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love the. I love that old school punk.
Oh yeah.
Stuff.
And then you cut back to Frank and Freddie, and they're having a conversation, but then they're at their desk, and Frank is telling Freddie, like, hey, you want to hear the real story?
About,
Did you ever see that movie Night of the Living Dead?
Call back.
And then Frank tells Freddie the real story of what actually happened. And it was a government cover up of a contamination spill, something like that.
And if he told the true story, they would sue the pants off of him or whatever.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So Romero. So they had to change it.
Yeah.
Referring to like Romero and that sort of thing.
Which is where I was saying like if that's where the feel of them still being on good terms was.
Right. Oh yeah.
Because it like references like that.
Yeah, that's fun. Those are fun references.
Oh yeah.
And Frank says, "Hey, the bodies are here because of a mix-up. You know, classic government screw-up. You want to see them?"
Yeah. Horror movie pro tip.
Just say no. I don't want to see them.
Yeah.
I'm here to make money. I'm not here to gawk at weird stuff.
Yeah, I mean, although let's be honest, you and I would definitely want to gawk at that weird stuff.
100%. So they go down and they look at it. Okay, so there's a phone number on the side of the container, 1-800-454-8000. And back in the day when this came out, it was a sex line, a phone sex line.
Which makes sense as to why this was before they did the 555 area code.
Right. So it was kind of a joke and that sort of thing, and it was. I called it.
Oh yeah.
And it was no longer a sex line.
Oh, what is it?
It is a medical alert line.
Really?
Right. So some medical company that you can call for alerts and that sort of thing. I was very disappointed. I was like, okay,
that is kind of
that's
cool,
lame.
but that is also kind of a cool twist on the fact that
that's true. Medical.
That's cool. Like that's the way it's swapped around.
And then
Jenny, I got your number.
That's right. 857-6309.
867-5309.
There you go. So Frank slaps the side of the container. And it springs a leak. Right in their faces.
Because that's the funny part. Freddy's like, will these things leak? Or does it leak? No, this was built by the U.S. Army. And
that's a good joke right there.
That right there, honestly, I
busted up. If you're gonna buy something that says military grade, that just means they got it for the lowest price. That's all that means.
Because some things, I mean, don't get me wrong, like. Military surplus ammo can be hit or miss. Sometimes that stuff works great. Other times...
That's what I mean. Well, it's probably old if it's surplus. But...
Tangent.
Then the credits start. And I was watching, I'm like into it, and I'm like, oh, right, the credits. They haven't gone by yet. Like,
yeah, honestly, it was a good little introduction to the characters, and the credits were going. And it
was all the main characters. And even Bert was in there. He was talking with them, and so he goes home.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't come back to the column. And then you see the face melting of the body that was in that container.
Yes.
Awesome. And that glass wasn't supposed to break.
Really?
The heat broke it, and they didn't expect it, but they kept it because it looked awesome.
Honestly, yeah, dude, that was again, like for those of you that have seen our previous videos, huge sucker for practical special effects, and
it was just a wax head. That's all they used.
I mean, yeah, you could tell that there was some.
And I really like the opening song.
Oh yeah, all in all, still everything was done right on that aspect.
So then you got the gas escaping, the bodies are starting to come to life, and then it cuts to the army guy. He has a
Major
name,
Dickhead,
and I can't recall what his name is.
Oh, I literally wrote down military dude is a dick because he comes in and he's You
read it down? Oh, where's your notes?
I remember writing it down.
Okay.
Because he comes in and his wife, who's super bubbly and cheery. Honestly,
lamb chops.
Yeah, it reminded me of Red and Kitty from that 70s show. Because she's all like, oh, how was your day, dear? And he's like, crappy as always.
Yep.
What's for dinner? Oh, your favorite, lamb chops. I had them for lunch. Like, bitch.
Yeah.
That is a great woman right there.
Yeah, that's right. Dude, she got lamb chops waiting for you. You smile and say, I'm going to eat them again.
Yeah,
these are good.
Like especially because if it's supposed to be your favorite and she went out of her way expecting you to probably have a bad day, that's a keeper.
That's right. I just have
Major Dickhead.
I have him in here as an army guy. And he checks in with the army. It sounds like he's looking for the containers. Like he's still, I don't know what he is. And he's looking for the containers. So they're kind of setting him up that eventually it'll come around full circle to him.
There was a fair amount of foreshadowing in this film.
There was.
And I dig it.
That's true. And then
Can you dig it?
we're back to the punks in the convertible, and they're going to pick up Freddy.
Yeah, they finally get a hold of Suicide.
Yeah, because he has the car.
Yeah. Why do you guys only hit me up when you need a ride?
He cracks me up in the whole movie. Oh, there's a line coming up that busts me up.
Because you're spooky.
I'll put the clip in once we get there. Okay, so there's a cemetery next door, and they're waiting for Freddy. So we're like, hey, let's go hang out at the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun idea. You ever do that? You ever do that in high school or something?
Actually, yes, and out of high school, but especially because, dude, there was a cemetery just down the street. I mean, from
same.
where I lived. So yeah, you would go, and it was pretty much the halfway point in town. So whenever you wanted to meet up with your friends or anything, it was, hey, we're gonna meet up at the cemetery.
Sure. Yeah.
And I have a lot of funny stories involving that cemetery.
Oh no. Yeah.
The most appropriate one being like. A friend of ours, we met up and we're like, okay, we're going to meet at the cemetery.
Okay.
And she's like, okay, I want to stop and say hi to a friend. And my buddy Jake says, if I don't like him, I'm going to punch him in the face.
Okay.
Friend kind of stops and goes, Jake, he's dead. She was talking about a friend whose tombstone was there. And he's like, oh.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's
awesome. And we go back to Frank and Freddy, who are waking up because they got blasted in the face by the chemicals.
I love how like you can tell they're sick and like
and it progresses. Yeah, it's a good progression.
It's subtle, but
and they look pale just at the beginning here, and they're not feeling well.
Yeah, you could tell it's kind of like that. You know, you wake up and you're not feeling good, and you look in the mirror and you look kind of like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the pretty much equivalent.
And then they hear a dog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they hear a dog kind of
yep. Mm-hmm.
kind of yapping, that sort of thing, and they go look at it, and it's half of a dog.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, special effects. And honestly, I come with Freddy on this one where he's like trying to stop Frank from, hurting this poor half dead dog.
Right. Oh yeah, because he's beating it with a crutch or something like that.
And again, I think it's just a common with most horror movie fans. It's like, leave the poor animal alone. Honestly, I'd keep half zombie dog.
Right. Yeah.
I'd call him Split.
That's a good name. The original guy who did the effects for this wanted it to be a Great Dane, but he didn't have the budget to make it bigger. He just didn't have the budget for it.
That would be cool.
Now and then you hear a cadaver screaming in the back. Mm-hmm. We find out it's a cadaver, and the butterflies on the Waller movies. You notice that?
Oh yeah, I did.
You know how they did that?
How?
He cut them out of a nature magazine, the butterflies, pinned them, kind of folded them, and then put a fan on them to make them move. So there's a guy just out of the screen with a fan, fanning him.
Honestly, it's that kind of
It's
low budget.
Exactly. You don't need a huge budget to make awesome stuff.
That should be another thing we should do. Low budget films with great special effects.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a good one.
Because stuff like that, I mean, it didn't look like it was they were being blown by the wind. I seriously thought it was just like a little motor that was like making them like.
And I'm not sure if it was like a handheld fan or if he was waving something. It just said fan, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it was honestly.
I'm sure
perfect.
someone knows.
It was amazing. Yeah, if you guys know, comment, like and subscribe.
Now, there's a conversation between Frank and Freddy, and then behind them there's an eye chart. Did you happen to notice the eye chart?
I think I did.
Now, it actually says something. If you read all the letters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's.
You are.
No. It's talking about Bert, the boss. Bert is a slave driver, and a cheap son of a bitch who's going bald too. Ha ha. That's what it says, and it keeps getting smaller and smaller as you go.
Approved. I love little shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna watch this again.
I noticed it. I'm like, okay, something looks weird here. Let me look this up. Yeah. And that's how I found out what it is. I could only read the first half, and then because in the copy I had, but in the Blu-ray, I guess it's a lot clearer.
Okay. The Blu-ray of this would be fun to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With all the special.
And we cut back to the punks. They're hanging out in the cemetery, and Linnea Quigley. I'm going to call her Linnea Quigley. Her name is Trash in the movie. Has a fantasy to die by a bunch of old men eating her alive. Is this foreshadowing?
Yes, it is.
This is foreshadowing.
Yes.
And then it is time for Linnea Quigley to get full on naked. We're talking naked time.
Oh yeah, I mean,
She's dancing on the
She
tombstone.
ripped her top off, and I'm like,
Bottoms off. Everything's off.
okay, yeah, at the top off, I'm like, okay, obligatory titties, and then next thing you know, bottoms off, and I love when he's like, oh, is Trash getting naked again?
Uh-huh.
Is Linnea Quigley getting naked?
So, okay, so
Oh, that actress.
I'm going to dive into something here on Linnea Quigley on set here. So the producers were on set during this shoot. Surprise. You know, perverted producers are going to show up for the naked day. And they said, okay, we can't have pubic hair. It looks weird. Let's take care of that. So they took her back and they shaved her.
They shaved her?
Well, the
I'm sorry, I don't like your pubes.
what are they called? The makeup artists and those guys, they did. They took, or women. I don't know who it was.
Okay, I know, but there's just...
It got shaved. It got shaved.
I'm
So then
like,
they put her
You can't
up.
just be like, hey, can you shave that? They're like, no, I don't like it. Zzz, me.
She said
I'm a Gucci.
this is one of the most embarrassing things that she had to film in her career. So she gets back up, and so everything's bald now.
Yeah.
And then the producers are like, oh my gosh, you can see everything. We can't have this. Bring her back down. So they put this thing under there, and then fake pubes on top. So they had to put fakes on top, and then something that would push up stuff.
The labia majora.
Right, and they had to, anytime she had to go to the bathroom, they had to take everything off so she can go to the bathroom in downtime and everything. And it was this whole ordeal.
Poor Miss Quigley.
Right, and this is one of the few times she's done full nude on video, and this might be one of the reasons she doesn't do it anymore. She's very pro topless, not a problem. I don't care, you know. I get it. Guys are going to see my movies because they're fun and bad, and I'm not a great actress, but I'm willing to whip them out. 'Cause, you know, whatever. But this kind of set her back on showing lower parts, and she also doesn't think it is necessary for movies and that sort of thing.
Oh,
But
no,
that's
I
a
mean,
whole thing.
modern time. I mean, dude, no hard feelings. Jennifer Lawrence,
Oh, that recent movie. Yeah.
where she suplexes a guy buck naked.
Right.
She's buck naked. I mean, like, no,
But-
honestly, that part.
Okay, so
She could kick my ass any day. Anyhow.
yeah, I hear that. So Linnea Quigley, shoot. But while she's dancing on the tombstone, there's a tombstone next to the one she's dancing on that says Archibald Leach on it. Now, who was Archibald Leach, Gary? I'll show it for you. So, yeah.
Cary Grant.
Cary Grant. That was his real name. They wouldn't let him use that in movies, so he went with Cary Grant. Famous old actor for you youngins.
I'm not that much younger than you.
But Cary Grant was acting in like the 30s and 40s and 50s.
I mean, oh, yeah.
Dude, I'm not that old. All right. So Bert shows up because so Freddie and Frank called Bert because everything's hitting the fan now.
Yeah, you know, naked
They're
Simpsons
hearing
character.
Well, they hear the
coming after him.
screaming.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you notice that? All right, we're gonna get to that. That's coming up right here. So Bert the boss shows up, and they don't know what to do. No one's allowed to find out about this. Doesn't want to hurt the reputation of the business.
I mean, small towns, things were a lot more locally owned.
Right.
At that point in time.
Well, and it's Louisville, Kentucky, and we'll get to
not
numbers.
a single Louisville slugger in this entire film.
Oh, is there? Are you sure?
I don't know.
There is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll get to that too. You might have missed that. They got to destroy the brain according to the movie.
Yeah, according to the movie, you gotta destroy the brain.
Right. Now.
Love the choice of using a pickaxe, but they
pickaxe
call
is
it
great.
an axe.
Uh-huh. And so
technically, at that point, isn't it just a pick because there's no axe? It's literally just.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, right. Yeah, but yeah, that's true. But and a pick usually has a flatter end on the back, so you can dig.
Yeah. I
Pull
thought a
out.
pickaxe had like an axe. So what would that be called? If anyone knows,
A
comment.
pick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a straight up pick. So the cadaver comes out, and what'd you call him?
Naked Simpsons looking. Seriously.
This guy was yellow.
Yellow. I'm talking like.
I don't have any info on it and on why they did that. Maybe that's all the makeup they had. Who knows? They had to do a full body color on him.
Yeah. And I mean...
Jaundice?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Jaundice, I mean, cadaver, kidney failure type.
Sure.
You know, or maybe they just want to be like, Simpsons.
Yep.
Homer.
Well, no, it was 85 when this came out. The Simpsons wasn't around until... Well, the first official Simpsons episode aired in 89 for the Christmas episode. And it was on the Tracy Ullman show as shorts from like 87, 88. So they wouldn't have even known about the Simpsons.
Okay. So maybe the Simpsons got their inspiration from this.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Hey, who knows? That'd be really cool, actually.
Right?
Go talk to my granny about that.
Wow.
So they pickaxe the head and it doesn't die. And he's just shaking there. And then
I thought you said if you destroyed the brain, it would stop. I was like, that's what the movie said. You mean the movie lied?
Right. You mean the movie lied? So Bert starts sawing off the head. So Clue Gallagher's sawing off the head. And then the body runs around without a head.
Frank's freaking out the entire time.
This is great. It's just knocking stuff over. It's hilarious to me.
Honestly, probably I like this because it's not traditional zombie. Like, yeah,
exactly. And that's what made this great.
Oh, yeah.
There's actually a lot of firsts in this movie that affected how society views zombies now in media and everything.
Because a lot of people, I mean, zombies, you end up viewing it in like two different forms. You got your traditional zombies, you destroy the brain. I mean, fast running, slow moving, doesn't matter. Destroy the brain,
and
done.
We're going to touch on each specific thing that they do, that they added to the zombie fandom or whatever that society sees now.
I mean, the other one being magical zombies, necromancers.
This movie added 3 things that are huge things now.
Okay.
So they tie it up. And they're chopping it up and everything. They tie it up and they throw it into bags. Yeah. And they need to do something with it. Crematorium. Well, why are you yawning, Gary? Is it 2:45 in the morning?
Apparently. I mean, yeah, first one, sulfuric acid. No, agua regala. Might be strong. Full to dissolve the bones? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Crematorium.
A crematorium.
I don't know what agua regala is.
Luckily, they work across the street from the crematorium.
Ernie.
And Bert has known Ernie for 25 years. But first, we got to jump back to the punks who were partying. And real quick, let's take our second break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. And back to the punks partying. Linnea Quigley, Trash, is still naked. And she's all up, and we're at the point we were just talking about this. Private, off screen, we were talking about this. Linnea Quigley is all up on Suicide, and he pushes her away. And I was telling him it's a total Chad move because she's all up on him, like, hey, I want to get freaky. And he's like, get away from me.
You think this is just a costume?
Yeah. This guy cracks me up. Speaking of, and here's where I was thinking Suicide, the guy who plays him, was in Friday the 13th, A New Beginning.
Really?
He is the guy... Okay, so New Beginning is the one where they tried to branch off with the girl with the psychic powers, that sort of thing. And the slow kid is Axe at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
This is the guy who axes him.
Oh.
Right, he's the criminal guy who was chopping wood and then just takes it on the kid. And yeah, he rages out and kills...
Reference to, don't look in the basement, I'm sure.
Jeez, I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
Did you know they did a sequel?
No.
Yeah. And on top of that, rumor was they were trying to do a remake featuring Doyle of Wolfgang von Frankenstein.
Okay, everything stopped. Okay, because we were talking about sequels and stuff, Behind the Mask, Rise of Leslie Vernon, there are rumors that a sequel is coming. Apparently one of the producers or somebody said that there's a big announcement coming.
Dude.
But their GoFundMes have fallen. They haven't made it. So hopefully they have a backer or something. So crossing fingers for a part 2 of Behind the Mask.
Another idea for a thing is movie franchises or horror movies we would love for them to make another one of.
Ooh, that is a good one. Yeah, I like that. Where's your pen and paper? You should be writing this down.
I know I should.
Okay, so
I fucked up.
we're at the crematorium
You fucked up.
with
You fucked up.
Bert, Freddie, Frank, and the Simpsons
Ernie.
body.
Oh yeah, no.
And Ernie. And this is where we meet Ernie.
Yeah.
And they bring the bag with the body in it, and the parts are wiggling. And they say,
Rabbit weasels.
Rabbit weasels.
Weasel stomping day.
Oh, we're doing a Weird Al reference now? All right.
Yeah. Shout out to Weird Al.
Ernie's packing heat.
Oh yeah.
Man, he's just
I
got hip
believe
guns.
the gun he is using is akin to a Luger.
Okay, now did you see the I'm going to use the term World War II references. I don't want to use the
other
word.
Yeah, no, because
we're still learning YouTube's
it's raining
words.
like, and he says a line in German.
I didn't catch that.
It's raining like a Stubebacke.
Dang it.
Fun
I
fact.
actually speak some German. I might have known that. Okay.
Fun fact of the episode: Ich bin ein Berliner. In addition to meaning I am a Berliner, also translates loosely to I am a jelly-filled donut.
That's cool.
Right?
Okay. So Bert shows Ernie what's in the bags. Because, he's like, why don't we just, that's messed up, dude. Why don't we just go out and shoot him? I got a gun. And fun fact, the things that were in the bags were toy monkeys or something like that. They were just toys.
Oh, like the ting.
Yeah, it was that sort of thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Again, probably cost effective, and
Cost effective, man.
they were all moving and wiggling around different ways.
And then they fill him in on the story behind it and everything like that. And then we go back to the punks and Suicide Walk. Okay, this is where I'm going to add the clip. I'm going to add the clip right here in the next minute. So Suicide walks up to Casey, the girl with the mohawk, and Chuck the nerd. And Casey says, "Oh, here comes your friend and mine."
Like you and a guy like me?
Go choke a chicken.
Oh, come on, Casey. I was only kidding, sure.
Oh, great. Here's your friend and mine.
Hey, fuck you, ball buster!
And the line read from Suicide had me busting up. He's like, "Hey, fuck you, ballbuster." The way he says it is hilarious. I'm going to add it in right here.
Fuck them. Oh yeah, when like freaking Trash was getting all up and was like, fuck them.
And it's him
fuck
walking
you,
away like,
fuck all of you.
It's
And
just kind of a dub over it. It's so great.
he's pissy.
His
he's
one-liners
angsty,
are
he's like-
awesome.
Yeah. And honestly, I kind of relate to him because I mean I was an angsty teenager in junior high, and that
I
was
think
my
everyone
attitude.
was.
Yeah.
And it was just
That
how
was my
far would your
attitude.
parents let you dress is what it came down to.
Yeah, I mean, I was a nice little, Christian boy at home, but as soon as I got to school, that was literally, it's like, fuck you, fuck them, fuck all of you guys.
Sure.
I hated the junior high kids.
Everyone hated junior high.
Well,
Junior high
man.
is the worst time.
Exactly. And honestly, I just think it was because I was literally looking at all of them like, you immature motherfuckers.
Junior high is middle school.
Yeah, junior high / middle school. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I was one of those immature motherfuckers. I was no different.
Anywho, back to the movie. now we're going to have like a therapy session. All right, let's go into your
Are you guys
8th grade experience.
I watched a kid get pantsed and thought they were both stupid.
So Tina goes looking for Freddie
Yes.
because it's her boyfriend, and she goes to check out the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. And then we're back to Ernie, and he agrees to do the crematorium thing and
In addition for a
favor. And they throw the body in. The body's burning, and here comes the yellowish smoke coming out of the pipe.
chimney shoot.
Chimney chute, yeah.
Chimney
And then
sherry.
you cue the music. And I really like this type of music. Like, even nowadays, they remake this kind of music. There's DJs and that sort of thing that do this. There's people... Okay, so I've been yelled at for calling it certain things. I don't know what the official term is. I've heard synthwave. I've heard new wave. I've heard different things of what it would be called. But it's kind of that 80s movie kind of music. You know what I mean? Kind of done on a Casio keyboard. That style.
Yeah, honestly, if anyone knows...
And I really like it. Well, no, and that's the thing.
Well,
Everyone
yeah.
calls it something different, and it's really annoying.
Exactly. Well,
Because
now...
everyone's really protected. It's really protected for something. It's like metal music.
Because,
Everyone's really,
no, it's death metal. No, it's black
yeah, everyone's
metal.
really
no,
protective
it's...
about their favorite.
Yeah, thrash
I don't get it.
metal.
I just like the sound. I don't care what it's called. Anyways.
Like, there's just... It's music. It's...
Right. Yeah.
There's all sorts of different kinds. Music is a buffet. Try a little bit of it all.
And then Linnea Quigley is
Hamburger-eating
still
motherfuckers.
naked. She's still naked.
In the...
And then it starts raining. And then they start running to the car. And when they're in the car, the rain's burning my skin. You know, that sort of thing.
And she's trying to take Mohawk Chick's towel. Or clothes.
Something, yeah. And she does end up getting a shirt.
Yes.
But,
Later.
Oh, I thought she got it right here because she's wiping herself down with it
With something.
at this point, and then
Yeah.
I assume she puts it on. And the body gets burned up, and Frank and Freddie are really messed up now. They're in that they're getting there. They're messed up and sick. And Frank starts puking. He runs out to the door, opens the door, and starts puking out.
Only this time worse.
And then Ernie calls an ambulance for Frank and Freddie.
They're poisoned. We don't know with what.
And we're back to the punk. Linnea Quigley is still naked. I have her right here, so she has not put the shirt on yet. And Tina's looking for Freddie in the warehouse. And Tina sees, and here is our introduction to Tarman. That's his name in the movies. It's in this, the sequel. He makes an appearance in the third one, but he's not a main thing.
Okay. In his, what's that called?
But he has been dubbed.
Casting credits.
Yeah, he's been dubbed the Tarman in the Return of the Living Dead fandom.
Oh, so it's kind of one of those, like, name came later
Right.
type thing.
Right,
like,
right.
Fun fact, Silent Hill, Pyramid Head, his original name was Red Pyramid Thing.
Oh, makes sense then.
Yeah, and then he didn't get the name Pyramid Head until later on. I think it might have been a fan-based thing,
Now,
or I don't know.
We're coming into a first here for zombie movies. This is the first time a zombie says brains.
And that's probably where the iconic,
And that's where this is from. This movie brought on into society that zombies want brains, and they say brains. That's where this is from. This movie created that.
That makes sense.
The Simpsons really...
Brains.
The Simpsons did a Treehouse of Horror in 91. I think it was their first or second one. I think second. That Lisa raises the dead trying to raise her cat Snowball instead. And they come out looking for brains. And, they knock on Homer's head. And they're like, oh, brains. And they push him away because he doesn't have any brains. It's funny.
Good times.
And then, it just kind of got solidified. And that was only 5-6 years after this movie came out. So that solidified
Oh, yeah.
brains. And these guys were the first guys to do it.
Makes
Talking
sense.
zombies. Hadn't been done before.
Oh, yeah, because before, all that makes sense. A lot of zombies, even traditional, if you go with, like, George A. Romero's, zombies, even when he started introducing the fast-paced zombies, I don't think a single one of them ever talked.
Right.
Even in Shaun of the Dead.
And Romero's zombies just wanted flesh.
Yeah, they're cannibalistic.
It wasn't necessarily... You didn't know it was actually brains they were after. You knew that it was kill the brain for his movies.
Oh, yeah.
So that word was involved with zombies at the time with his, but it wasn't eat the brains.
Oh, yeah. And even like Resident Evil, like moving on until they got to the more advanced biological, bioorganic weapons, they didn't really
Speaking of Resident Evil, we're going to have to work our way through this. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but I just picked up for $2.50 all 4 movies of the Resident Evil franchise.
You mean the first 4?
Yes, the first 4. The ones with Mia Jovovich. I have those.
Yeah.
It was at Walmart.
The
They're
Paul W.S.
dumping their
Anderson ones?
DVDs. Kind of how Best Buy is. I think Walmart's doing the same thing.
Yeah,
At least ours.
It's a dying format, apparently.
Yeah.
Bastards. I like the physical collection. Keep the physical collection.
Okay, so
Bring back the tick.
Tarman's chasing Tina. Did you see when she runs up the stairs and the thing falls up from the stair
Be
breaks?
careful, that third step is tricky.
She didn't know it was going to happen.
No.
She went to lunch and they changed the stairs on her to put a false one in there.
Which...
That's why she doesn't get up right away. Because she's actually like dazed, like, oh, I just fell. That sort of thing. Yeah, so they wanted a legit surprise from her.
Smart.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. I wouldn't be happy if I was Tina, but it worked.
Oh, no.
She hides from them, but an ambulance shows up to help Frank and Freddy.
Oh yeah, she hides from them, and that's when the zombie also showed a smart zombie for the first.
Right,
Instead of just trying to break through that door.
He uses the pulley system,
yeah,
or whatever.
a full-on pulley system.
Leverage
to
and pulling.
break that door off.
Yeah.
Like to try and break that door off.
So they have smarts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hey, they know what they're doing, you know.
Yep.
They can think things through. And then
They know what they want.
we show the ambulance showing up. And they're checking out Frank and Freddy.
Yeah.
But they can't get any readings.
Oh yeah, and they're swapping back and forth.
Yeah, like, hey, what's going on? He's 70 degrees.
What's
that?
Room
temperature.
That's
So right now we're doing a lot of hopping right now. We're hopping from the punks to the warehouse to the punks.
Actually,
to
I
the
keep my room temperature at 69.
Nice. We're doing punks, crematorium, warehouse, and we're kind of hopping there right now.
Yeah.
So then we get
There's a lot of cut back and forth, but in a smooth and
it works.
Way. Yeah,
it works.
It does.
Yeah. And we'll get to our numbers on what we think and why this movie should be where it's at in our numbers, and I actually have some thoughts on that. So the punks are hiding from Tarman now, and they run back to the cemetery. So some of the punks come in, and they hear Tina, and they come and save her, and they run back to the cemetery. And this point,
Suicide gets his...
Suicide is dead.
Yeah.
You're right. Tarman kills Suicide. But now we get our skeleton rising from the grave, and this is the iconic shot of the skeleton with the opening the mouth, big mouth. And there was a thing I read of director O'Bannon saying, when they did this, I thought this was just a set-in, like a sit-in kind of thing. Like, this is what we're doing, just kind of fix the cameras and get the angles and everything right. I didn't know that was actually what they expected me to use in the movie. And then it turns out that this is what they use on a ton of advertising. It's an iconic shot. It looks so cheap, but that's what makes it so great.
Oh, honestly, I mean, it's cheap but well done.
Yeah, the lighting, the water, the rain and everything. But
I mean, I didn't really.
It works.
Didn't see very many I didn't see any wires or any other type of stuff to pull away from that movie magic.
The puppeteer in this movie, his last name is like Gardner or something like that. And this movie made his career. He went on to do a bunch of stuff. So he was, so it's just the budget. They didn't have much of a budget.
Oh, yeah.
For this specific shot, skeleton. And they went with it, and it came out that everyone loved it.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and it worked out.
That's the other thing, too. Again, you don't need to have a big budget to do quality effects.
Right.
James Cameron. Just kidding.
So we just got our iconic shot of the zombie, or the skeleton rising, and now all the zombies start crawling out of their graves, and everyone's running. The punkers split up. And this is where Linnea Quigley, Trash, she finally gets what she wanted.
Yeah, wait for me, guys. I don't have shoes. Maybe we shouldn't have took them off.
Yeah, she gets eaten, just like she wanted.
Alive by a bunch of technically very old men.
Very old men, yes. So, yeah, that's fun. Tina, Spider, and Scuzz, they show up to the crematorium. They're pounding on the door like, hey, let me in.
With Ernie brandishing a firearm at him.
Well, of course. There's a bunch of crazy stuff happening. And then Chuck and Casey, they run to the warehouse. And they are chased by running zombies. This is the first instance of running zombies in a zombie movie. Nice. So these guys created the running zombie, the fast-moving zombie.
Boom.
So that's number 2 that they've done. And I can't recall if there's a number 3. And I said there was a number 3. And
let's see.
Hopefully we hit it.
Talking zombies.
That's number 3.
Smart zombies.
Smart? Maybe it's smart.
Yeah, they're actually cognitive thinking zombies.
Yeah. And we get to even more examples of that later.
And running. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's at least 3 right there.
Well, that and the wanting brains.
Yeah,
they created the whole
there's a
social
number of
thing
things.
on that. Yeah. This was a first in many levels in society for zombie movies. The paramedics trying to figure things out. So they go to their van and call it to try to call it in.
Mm-hmm.
And they get mobbed by a bunch of zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Fast-moving zombies, too. Ernie runs out to start the car and sees the ambulance empty. Because they don't, the folks inside don't realize it.
Excuse me.
No, I got you, man. It's 3:10 in the morning.
Whoa.
Yeah, you still got to go home. Ernie runs out to the
Bear
car.
with us.
And the zombies start trying to break into the crematorium.
I laughed when Ernie shot that little person zombie coming after him.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that. And it's obviously a little person in a costume.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, oh man, just because it's like with the one long arm, just.
The whole scene is a crack up. Like just thinking about it now, in my head I'm playing it, and I'm like, oh man, that's funny.
That's funny. I love horror comedy. It's got horrifying yet very comedic moments.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So zombies start. They're trying to break into the crematorium, and a zombie walks up to the ambulance.
Oh yeah, it's eating one of the paramedics out there,
and he hears the radio.
Respond.
And it's
confirm.
Send more paramedics.
Send more. Yeah.
This is So talking zombies, another instance of talking, and it's not
cognitive.
just brains. It's actually saying something. Hey, I want you to send more brains.
That was the first time they said something other than brains or more brains. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's another first right there. So we go back in, and Freddy. They have him rolling aside. I think the makeup on the bruising is really good.
No, yeah.
I noticed it when they first met Ernie.
Yeah.
And he had the body on, and he shows the bruising. The bruising makeup was really good.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Have you seen a dead body with blood pooled and bruising and everything like that? That's very similar.
I'm gonna go with no because I don't want to freak out our viewers.
I have. So, okay. I mean, whatever.
Anyhow.
Yeah. I've been on the internet since the mid-90s, man. I've seen a lot of stuff. And Freddy is in pain when he gets moved. He has rigor mortis.
Oh, yeah, because he's talking about his muscle stiff, the headache, and the running through system, which is another, again, callback to when Ernie was talking about rigor mortis. First it starts in the brain, then it moves through the organs, and then it settles into the muscles.
Right. And then more paramedics arrive, and they get swarmed by the zombies. Scuzz gets bit in the head by the half zombie. This is the one they cut in half, the woman, the female, and they drag her inside. This is the one they tie down to the thing. And
because Ernie wants to examine it.
Yeah, and kind of figure out what's going on. Like, can we figure something out?
In second instance,
and
of
it talks.
Someone titties other than Linnea Quigley's, but it's zombie titties, so...
Not my thing.
Yeah.
But they're there. And this is where we find out why they eat the brains. Do you remember why?
Death is pain. I feel myself rot. The only thing that makes it go away is brains.
Yep. This is what eases the pain, is eating brains. So apparently being dead is painful. And I have a note, nice practical effects here. They're great practical effects. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but on the table, you can see the table. I'll put a picture. You can see the table. And there's a cutout on the bottom right of the screen that it's metal of the table, and that's where the puppeteer is. He's under there, and he's working the spine and the head.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing. But it looks really good because it's only on this bottom side of the screen.
Yeah.
You'll see it in the picture. That's why this puppeteer guy went on to do a ton of stuff. I wish I had put more notes on him. I should have. If I recall, he did stuff with Jim Henson, and he was with the Henson Company and all that stuff. Like, this got him into the big time.
Nice. Jim Henson, a.k.a. the guy that did, Sesame Street?
Did he?
I think.
No, he did Kermit and Miss Piggy. The Muppets.
The Muppets.
He's the Muppets guy.
Oh,
Jim
yeah.
Henson. Yeah.
Oh, one of your guys animated zombie titties?
Yeah. Boom. You're hired.
Hey, I like titties.
Naked Linnea Quigley again, even though she died. Because Linnea Quigley is rising from the grave.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I mean, it's not really a grave because she was kind of killed, but they have her rise out of dirt and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she's still naked. And
I'm
then,
in my stockings, I think that's the only thing she was wearing.
yeah, that's the
at
only
that
thing she
point.
had on.
Like the entire...
It was those 80s stockings that go to your knee. They're like long
like
socks.
knees to ankle.
Yeah,
Because she didn't have...
it was a weird 80s thing. And then they show the homeless
80s,
guy.
great music, terrible fashion.
They show the homeless guy, and this is the production designer, William Stout. It's his cameo to be in the movie.
Yeah.
And he sees naked Linnea Quigley walking towards him and her face is now messed up looking, but it's not undead. It looks more demonic than it does undead.
Oh, yeah.
You notice that later? Because they do more close-ups later.
Especially when she does the, like, she unhinges her jaw like a snake to take a bite out of him. He wants to name
and then she
take
kills
a bite out of him.
Linnea, call me. Hey, we'll work something out. And the police are on the way. You know? They're coming. But hey, remember Chuck and Casey?
Yep.
I can't forget about them. They're hiding in the warehouse still. And that's it. They have some quick scene and just to remind you that they're in the warehouse. And then we go back to Frank and Freddie. And they're getting moved to the chapel. In case they get turned to zombies. And they're going to lock them in there. And Tina doesn't want to leave Freddie alone. So I'm going to stay by Freddie's side. And I'm going to, I'll be with Freddie. Lock me in with them. The worst decision you can make. Are you kidding me?
I know he's a loved one, but I'm sorry. Mama, if you turn into a zombie, I'm taking your ass out.
Yeah. Well, like Shaun of the Dead that we did last week.
Yeah, I know. I might, I was going to be sad, but honestly, at the same time, too, I mean, she did technically give me permission where if she could never wipe her own ass before, I can take her out. And I think being zombified
that counts.
Yeah,
it's good. So the police arrive and they're dead because they get swarmed.
Yeah.
Action, Clue Gallagher. He fights Freddie and Frank. They or Freddie really, because Frank is still more with it, as we see later. But Action Clue Gallagher fights off Freddie and saves Tina and pulls her out of the chapel after they had locked it and everything. And then so here's a fault I have with this.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Ernie breaks his ankle. So they're shoving a church pew in front of the doorway, and then Ernie breaks his ankle.
While shoving a pew?
While shoving a pew. He's not shoving the pew. He's in the middle of it. Nothing is near his ankle. And he just kind of does like a limp, like, ugh, I hurt my ankle. I'm going to put it, if I can remember and find the clip, I will put it right here.
How'd you break your ankle, Ernie?
Right. It's hokey looking. I actually hammed it. I have it right here. It seems hokey the way it was done. They kind of ham-fisted it in. Like,
well,
we gotta get this
he's
guy's
being
ankle
too much of a
broken.
badass. We got to do something new.
Well, yeah, and they got to make it so he can't run to the car later.
Yeah, they got to cripple him somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. It just you could have done it a better way. Like have someone trip on his foot. Oh, you broke my ankle, or step on his foot as they're running. Whatever. And right here, Bert and Spider, they run to the police car and they drive away. So Ernie was unable to run to the police car. He's like, I can't make it. My foot's broken. That's what the whole setup was for.
Yeah.
And the town is full of zombies now. Yeah, there's are we at the police blockade yet? I'm not sure. So, Spider and Bert they end up at the warehouse. So they're surrounded by zombies, not just in the cemetery now. So they end up crashing into the warehouse, and they go in, and Casey and Chuck are in there. Tina and Ernie make it to the roof in the crematorium because they had originally planned to go there because the undead can't climb, but
they can do a bunch of other things.
They can do pulleys and
they can
levers.
Smart enough to trick paramedics and to sending more paramedics. Do pulleys and levers to break open a door, and it's like we can't figure out a ladder system.
Right. And so they make it to the roof. Frank, this is where Frank puts himself in the incinerator. He's obviously a zombie, but he has just enough cognitive ability. Like, he gets down on his knees, puts his hands in, and says, "Please forgive me." He turns on the furnace, and he starts climbing in.
Foreshadowing when he tells Freddy, "I could operate that thing."
Yeah, I didn't notice that. That's perfect, absolutely. But what I like about this is him screaming when he just touches the metal that was in there with the fire. Because it's hot, and he can feel it, and he
honestly, a lot of the acting on like the pain or like the freaking, like, because Linnea Quigley, honestly, when she starts freaking out about those zombies swarming her and everything, totally believable. Even if she says that they'll.
She's a good screamer.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's a scream queen. She is the scream queen. I would put her.
Queen.
I'd put her in the B movie list. I'd put her number 1. Because obviously you're going to have your Jamie Lee Curtises and all that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to top those A-listers.
Yeah. But in the B list, she's number 1 scream queen. And those are the ones I care about. I don't care about A-listers.
You know, I put her number 1 because you see her jumblies.
A lot of times, yeah. Yeah. And if you start moving into further movies, it gets even better. Well, I mean, just like,
She turned him from a boy
Jacko?
to a man.
Okay, so there's a Halloween movie called Jacko that she's in. It's terrible. It's fun. I'm just saying. Anyways, maybe we might check it out come Halloween time. We'll have 4 movies to do in October. Just saying. All right. So Tina and Ernie are on the roof. Frank puts himself in the incinerator. Whole lot of cops show up, and the one cop, or the zombie dressed as a cop, he's waving the stick to wave the cops in. And the cops pull up in a line, and then all the zombies just converge on all the cop cars. That's great. The zombie just... That's awesome.
More brains.
More, come on in. And then So Bert, Spider, Casey, Chuck are at the warehouse. And Bert says, well, if Tarman shows up... Well, he doesn't say Tarman, but if the zombie shows up, I'll knock his block off. And this is where the baseball bat comes in. The Louisville Slugger. So he picks up a baseball bat, and they go in. And then Tarman shows up, and he knocks his head off. And then you got the headless thing going on again.
El numero dos.
And so Bert knocks Tarman's head off, and then he calls the cops. So they make it down to this. The first phone is busted. Second phone works, but it's at the tank with the phone number on it for the Army. And he calls the cops, and the cops are like, okay, we're here. We have the barricade set up. And then we get naked Linnea Quigley one more time. Last time, she is out of the movie after this, and she's charging as a zombie, naked, with a whole bunch of zombies charging the barricade of the cops. So he loses contact. Bert loses contact on the phone, and he calls the number on the side of the tank. And Dick Army Guy picks up.
Yeah, Major Dickhead.
Yep.
That's my official name for him.
But luckily, the Army has a contingency plan. And apparently we have Linnea Quigley again, because I have it here.
Yeah, I noticed that.
She is making a lot in this. And this is when Louisville, Kentucky is nuked. So, that's it. The nuclear cannon at the end of the film was actually a World War II German howitzer on a film that they used. And then...
Wait, a howitzer for a nuke?
Right, and they're hoping you don't know this.
Yeah,
right.
Unfortunately,
because I was looking and I was like, that doesn't look big enough to shoot a nuke. Yeah.
Unfortunately for them, I mean,
no, it's implied modern. That it's nuked. They say that 4,000 lives are expected to be lost. Now, I don't know what the population of Louisville, Kentucky was in 1984-5. Well, this was it's supposed to be set in 84.
But so even a howitzer, I don't think could take out.
A howitzer isn't going to put up the mushroom cloud that comes up at the end, but it's not a big mushroom cloud. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Or take out that many people unless they were really tired.
Oh, howitzer
together.
No.
Yeah.
No. Exactly. Howitzer was it was a common just.
It was an
artillery.
Yeah.
Weapon.
You know,
in World War II.
Anti-aircraft, vehicle.
Right.
Most.
And then. But what they're going for is they nuke the town. That's kind of what they're shooting for with the budget they had.
Yeah, work with what you got. I mean, they had a lot of amazing things for a low budget, but not everything can be a banger.
And then it's still raining. And then we see the skeleton. That skeleton we were talking about earlier, the iconic one, rises with the mouth open, and that's where they end it. But then the credits start. I'm like, I went to hit stop, and I'm like, wait a minute, stuff's still happening. And it's basically, it's the movie, but it's super condensed.
In the credits.
Yeah, they're just hitting it, and they're just going through the movie, just the important scenes. Like, we could have just shown the credits right here, or at the beginning of this, and our movie would be done.
Yeah.
So, some of the music in this was done by TSOL, punk band, from the 80s and early 90s. You ever heard of them?
No.
You ever heard of the Cramps?
Yes.
Okay, the Cramps had some songs in this.
Oh, nice.
Those were the biggest bands that I had heard of.
If I remember right, the Cramps did, I want to say it's the one song. Yes, Naked Girl Falling Down the Stairs.
Okay.
That's my favorite. That's the first song I heard.
That sounds like a party right there.
Yep.
I don't know if I mentioned before, but Miguel, the guy who played Spider, he was homeless when they hired him for this movie.
Hey.
Miguel Nunez Jr. was homeless when they hired him for this.
Yeah.
And this shot his career.
Good
This
for
is
him.
what got it. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I already went over those two. They were motorized. The Rapid Weasels.
Yeah.
You know, they were motorized toy monkeys that had the cymbals removed. So they removed so it wouldn't clang.
Yeah, smart.
On audio, yeah, that's good.
Smart.
The part of Bert was originally offered to Leslie Nielsen, but he wanted too much money.
Really,
And
Leslie?
this was before he hit the comedy. He didn't. The Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, he was.
Those started late '80s.
Because he was in an episode of.
He was a serious
Tales
actor.
from the Crypt Keeper,
Yeah.
where he was a villain.
Yeah, he was a serious actor prior to Naked Gun, and then
And he does
Naked Gun
great
shot him
work.
off.
I mean, he does great work as a serious actor, but I do love him. As
He's
a
in.
comedian.
There's a late '70s movie about the animals going wild, and I can't remember what it is, but he's a jerk in that movie.
Yeah, he's a very talented actor, but I do prefer him in his more comedic roles.
And then the voice of the helicopter officer is actually the voice of Dan Bannon, the director.
Yeah.
Because the voice actor never showed up to work. He's like, all right, whatever, I'll do it.
You fucked up.
Yeah. And that's Return of the Living Dead from 1985, man. Like, where do you stand on this movie?
Man?
Yeah, what give me a number. 1 through 10. What do you think?
I would say 7.
7?
I'd
I
score
like
it higher if it wasn't for zombie titties.
Oh, okay. Oh, see, I might tack on an extra point or two for that.
I mean...
It's well, you got to think, Night of the Living Dead had a naked woman in it.
Oh, yeah.
It shows her butt, at least. I don't know. I can't recall if it shows the front.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still zombie titties. I love titties, but...
Yeah.
I'm a titty man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. My filter is shot because it is 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I worked a 10-hour shift, and yeah.
I like it. 7 is a good number. I think I'll hang with you at 7. 7 is a solid number. It's above average.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
not the greatest, but it's
no.
a solid film.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun.
Yeah, and you know what? This is...
it's a fun movie.
Yeah, and this is a first for us because I think this is the first time you and I had a solid consensus on the same number. So,
it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's honestly 10 out of 10 recommend. I mean, 7 out of 10 score, but 10 out of 10 recommend if you're looking for a good, horror comedy.
Yeah, this is
or
a
you just
good.
want to see some titties.
This is a good introduction to someone who doesn't like horror.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a light horror, I would say.
Not for kids.
No.
For teenagers, sure.
It's
why
an R
not?
movie. Yeah, I mean, because of the nudity in Linnea Quigley, they had to minimize some of it.
Is that just going to be like a thing, rated R for Linnea Quigley?
No, well, they were going to get X at the time.
Before the NC-17.
Right, and that's why they put the prosthetic thing under her.
To
hold things up into place. Because, the labia and all that. Yeah.
Labia majora.
If they didn't do that, they
clitoris.
would have had the X movie. There was no NC-17 at the time.
Yeah, it was X.
This would have given
reserved.
X,
Well,
yeah.
and now X is reserved for pornographic films.
Right.
Beef curtains.
Right. Beef curtains. Yeah, that's right. If you haven't seen Beef curtains, hey, head back and check out the
Yeah,
Goonies.
check out our shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out the
Shorts,
Goonies for
Goonies.
beef curtains.
Check it all out. We were supposed to have a guest this week. We said in the last episode at the end there was going to be a guest this week, and it fell through.
She's getting married. So congratulations.
Hey, good job.
But
Yeah.
you screwed the pooch on this. Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, seriously, congratulations.
No, yeah, she's setting up a wedding.
So good for her.
But we will 100% have a guest on the following episode after
Yes.
this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And it'll be exciting because this is their favorite film that we will be
We
reviewing.
will be doing their favorite film.
Yeah, well, I think we'll leave
She
that
is
one for a
excited.
surprise.
I think you know her.
Yeah, actually, it is my fiance,
Yes.
my wife to be.
Yep. She will be in here and talking about her favorite movie. So hopefully you come back next time, and we will see you again
And
on
you'll see why I
Demented
was
Collective.
down to I liked Linnea Wiggly with that. Or Wiggly?
Wiggly.
Well, she was pretty wiggly
Yeah, she was.
with that wig on. But-
Actually, never mind. I'm getting weird. All right.
Right.
All right.
Anywho,
What's your catchphrase, Gary?
well, yeah, as always, thanks for tuning into the Demented Collective, and stay demented.
See ya.